Welcome to our channel. It was a Friday afternoon when Neo checked his account balance. It was less than he expected, but when he saw the number, he wasn't angry or disappointed. Instead, he laughed it off. I'll make more next week. It'll all just work out. He lived paycheck to paycheck, spending on whatever caught his eye. The latest gadgets, trendy clothes, food delivery, crypto investments, FOMO. There was no savings, no budget, no backup plan, no control. His money vanished each month, leaving him empty-pocketed and carefree until it didn't. One day, his account hit near zero. Then it went into overdrawn. Red alert emails flooded his inbox. Calls from creditors piled up. Each notification added to his shame and denial, making him feel trapped and helpless. But life had a way of shaking you down when it got too comfortable. A missed bill payment turned into a late notice. Each missed payment added to his mounting worries, turning his future darker. He felt like a fraud, living beyond his means, hiding his financial struggles behind forced smiles and casual shrugs. How did he get here? If you think this story sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most people drift through life on autopilot, ignoring warning signs until they can't be ignored. They find themselves stuck in a cycle of struggle and despair. Neo found himself trapped in a cycle of lies, excuses, and false hopes. He told himself, "I'm just one big idea away from success. I'm almost there. Just let me catch a break." But breaks rarely came, and success seemed a distant dream. As weeks turned into months, his bills piled up, forming an insurmountable wall between him and financial freedom. The weight of his ignored warnings pressed down on him, stealing his joy and crushing his spirit. Each red alert email and late notice echoed the same grim message. He was running out of time and options. His financial prison was of his own making, a self-imposed sentence for failing to plan, prepare, or prioritize. And yet he continued to deny his situation, hoping it would magically resolve itself if he just ignored it long enough. But the universe has a way of balancing scales, and what goes around comes around. He began experiencing the consequences of his actions, missed opportunities, strained relationships, and mounting debts. All the things he'd shoved under the rug now loomed over him, casting long shadows of despair. Days bled into weeks, filled with hollow promises and half-hearted attempts at change. He drifted through life in a fog of denial, too afraid to confront the truth. Then one sleepless night, the dam broke. In the quiet solitude of his thoughts, he faced the harsh reality of his situation. The gravity of his choices crashed over him like a tidal wave, leaving him breathless and shaken. In the stillness of his room, surrounded by the ghosts of his mistakes, he realized the magnitude of his financial prison. The walls were closing in, suffocating him with their suffocating grip. This moment of truth was both terrifying and liberating. It was terrifying because it forced him to confront the monster he'd created, a monster of his own making. Yet it was also liberating because it shattered the illusion, forcing him to wake up to his reality. In the depths of his despair, a tiny ember of hope flickered. This realization marked a turning point. It was the first crack in the wall of his denial, a chink of light in the armor of his ignorance. He looked around him, truly seeing his surroundings for the first time. The four walls that had become his prison, the roof that had turned into a cage. He was trapped in a labyrinth of his own design. But amidst the despair, a new resolve began to stir within him. "I will break free from this prison." It was a promise whispered in the darkness, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. His story is a reminder that while the road to financial freedom is unique for each individual, the starting point is always the same: a conscious decision to wake up, to see the truth, and to take the first step towards change. There are billions of people who live paycheck to paycheck. They have no control over their finances. They spend as soon as they get paid and find themselves back in the same position every month. This isn't about bad financial decisions or poor money management. This is about something much more fundamental, something deeply ingrained in the fabric of our society. In today's episode, we're going to delve into the root causes of this pervasive issue, exposing the invisible chains that bind millions in a cycle of broken dreams and financial despair. We'll explore the societal norms, flawed mindsets, and destructive habits that keep people trapped in a cycle of poverty and financial struggle. Join us on this eye-opening journey as we uncover the hidden forces that perpetuate poverty and financial instability. Together, let us break the chains of ignorance and empower ourselves to build a future of financial freedom and prosperity. Now let's move on to point 7. He stared at his reflection, the face staring back, accusing, ashamed. It was a moment of brutal honesty. No more lies, no more excuses. It was time to face the music, the consequences of his choices, the whispers that had become screams. The silence of his room echoed with the urgency of his new resolve. He knew there would be no knight in shining armor to save him. No one was coming to bail him out of this mess. It was up to him, and him alone, to pull himself out of the abyss. In the depths of his despair, a flicker of determination ignited. It was the kind of fire that only burns brightest in the darkest moments. He was done being a victim of circumstance. He was done with the endless cycle of broken promises and failed attempts. He was done with the lies he told himself and everyone else. It was time for the truth. Looking back, He saw the signs he'd ignored for so long. The missed opportunities, the mounting debts, the hollow victories. He'd been living on a financial tightrope, one wrong move away from disaster. But now, looking ahead, he saw a glimmer of hope. It was a faint light in the distance, beckoning him towards a life of financial freedom and dignity. He knew the road ahead would be long and arduous. There would be setbacks and stumbles, moments of doubt and despair. But he was ready. He was ready to confront his fears, to face his demons, to fight for a better future. This realization, this moment of truth, was the wake-up call he'd been waiting for. It was the catalyst that transformed his life, shattering the illusion and igniting the spark of his true potential. The journey ahead was daunting, but he was no longer afraid. He had taken the first step towards change, the most important step, the step out of denial. Now, armed with the courage of his convictions and the strength of his experiences, he was ready to face the world. He knew he couldn't change the past, but he could change the future he wanted, the future he deserved. As the sun rose the next morning, it shone on a new Neo, a man reborn from the ashes of his mistakes. He stepped out into the world, ready to embrace the challenges that lay ahead. The path to financial freedom and prosperity had begun, and though the journey was far from over, he was no longer lost. He had found his purpose, his motivation, his path, and as long as he stayed true to himself, he knew he could achieve anything. It's time to close the book on this episode, but our story is far from over. If you've enjoyed this journey with Neo, don't go anywhere. Next week, we'll continue his story in episode 2, where we delve into the subtle yet powerful forces that keep millions trapped in a cycle of broken dreams and financial struggle. We'll explore the invisible chains of bad habits and limiting beliefs that hold people back from achieving their full potential. Join us as we unravel the complexities of financial hardship and the psychological barriers that hinder progress. Together, let us continue this eye-opening exploration and empower ourselves with the knowledge and tools to break free from the shackles of poverty and create a future filled with financial abundance and success. See you next time.